Death has shown to Savitri the dream twilight of the ideal, a wonderful, dreamy, beautiful world, but where nothing can be seized and fixed and realized. And now he is telling her how worthless all that is, all the great ideals. They are just beautiful dreams that can never be realized, that have no reality. And that is true for love, for truth, for whatever ideals we may have. So we stopped on line 180, but I'm going to read from the beginning of that sentence, because this is Death's advice to Savitri now. And thou go back alone to thy frail world. Chastise thy heart with knowledge. Unhood to see thy nature raised into clear living heights, the heaven bird's view from unimagined peaks. For when thou givest thy spirit to a dream, soon hard necessity will smite thee awake. Purest delight began, and it must end. Thou too shalt know, thy heart no anchor swinging, thy cradled soul moored in eternal seas. Vain are the cycles of thy brilliant mind. Renounce, forgetting joy and hope and tears, thy passionate nature in the bosom profound of a happy nothingness and wordless calm, delivered into my mysterious rest. One with my fathomless nihil, all forget. Forget thy fruitless spirit's waste of force. Forget the weary circle of thy birth. Forget the joy and the struggle and the pain, the vague spiritual quest which first began when worlds broke forth like clusters of fire flowers, and great burning thoughts voyaged through the sky of mind, and time and its eons crawled across the vasts, and souls emerged into mortality. But Savitri replied to the dark power, "A dangerous music now thou find'st, O Death, melting thy speech into harmonious pain, and flutest alluringly to tired hopes thy falsehoods mingled with sad strains of truth. But I forbid thy voice to slay my soul. My love is not a hunger of the heart. My love is not a craving of the flesh. It came to me from God, to God returns. Even in all that life and man have marred, a whisper of divinity still is heard. A breath is felt from the eternal spheres. Allowed by heaven and wonderful to man, a sweet fire rhythm of passion chants to love. There is a hope in its wild, infinite cry. It rings with callings from forgotten heights. And when its strains are hushed to high-winged souls in their empyrean, its burning breath survives beyond the rapturous core of suns that flame forever pure in skies unseen, a voice of the eternal ecstasy. One day I shall behold my great sweet world put off the dire disguises of the gods, unveil from terror and disrobe from sin. Appeased, we shall draw near our mother's face. We shall cast our candid souls upon her lap. Then shall we clasp the ecstasy we chase. Then shall we shudder with the long-sought God. Then shall we find heaven's unexpected strain. Who will start today?
Then thou go back alone to thy great grave, go. Chastise thy heart which knowledge uncould to see, thy nature rest into clear living faith. The heaven birds view from unimagined peaks.
Yes. So he wants her to go back, no? And he tells her, go back alone to thy frail world. This human world is very fragile and frail. It breaks easily. And he advises her to seek after knowledge and to discipline her heart, her passionate heart which is longing for love and to have Shraddhavan back. He says, you search after knowledge. Then you will take off this hood of illusions. And you will be able to see then the view that the heaven bird has from those highest peaks of consciousness. Because if you chastise, if you discipline your heart with knowledge, then your nature, your human nature, will get raised up into clear living heights, these heights of higher consciousness. A heaven bird's view from unimagined peaks. We can't imagine those peaks, those high levels of consciousness. And he says, I'm advising you this because, you will read, yeah?
For when thou givest thy spirit to a dream, some hard necessity will smite thee wake. Forest delight began and it must end.
Yes. So he warns her, if you're giving your spirit, if you're identifying your spirit with a dream, with one of those ideal dreams, soon you will get woken up from your beautiful dream by the hard necessity, the hard realities of life. Everything that is born must die. And purest delight, that pure delight that you have enjoyed in your union with Shraddhavan, it had a beginning and it must come to an end. It can't last forever. Bhavana.
Thou too shalt know, thy heart no anchor swinging, thy cradled soul moves in eternal sea. Vain are the cycles of thy brilliant mind.
Thank you. Actually, these two lines are among my favorite in the whole of Savitri, even though they're spoken by death. But this wonderful image, he says, thou too shalt know, thy heart no anchor swinging. It's as if the heart is a ship and it's not anchored to anything, it's not attached to anything. If you can be free from all attachments, then you will know that your soul is cradled, it's protected in eternal seas, moored. It's when the ship is fastened to a firm something, that will hold it and keep it safe. There's a difference between a ship riding at anchor. If the ship can't reach a safe harbour, they will try to find a place where they can put down an anchor, and that will stop the ship moving too much. No? But better it is to find a safe harbour and be moored somewhere, to be tied up somewhere. But here he says, if you don't put down any anchor, if you're not attached to anything, to any ideal or dream or idea or anything, then your soul will realize that it's always safe, that it's protected in these eternal seas. And then he says, vain are the cycles of thy brilliant mind. Don't trust the mind. He's telling her, don't trust the heart, don't trust the mind either. So what must she do, Martin?
Renounce, forgetting joy and hope and tears, that passionate nature in the bosom profound of a happy nothingness and worldless calm, delivered into my mysterious rest.
Yes.
One with my pessimist nihil, all forget.
Yes. So he's saying, give up this passionate nature of yours. Forget all about these things that you're passioning after, joy and hope, and that brings suffering. Give all that up, surrender it, let it go. Let yourself go in the deep bosom of a happy nothingness and a worldless calm, a calm in which there is no world. Then You will be delivered, you will be set free into my mysterious rest, the rest that I, death, offer to you. You can merge with, become one with my fathomless nihil, my nothingness. Forget everything there. Yeah. Fathomless, we've had this word so often, no? That's so deep, the bottomless depth of my nothingness. Forget everything. And then he lists some of the things that she should forget. Gumsun.
Forget thy fruitless speech waste of force. Forget the weird circle of thy birth. Forget the joy and the struggles and the pain. The vague spiritual cast which first began, when words broke forth like clusters of fire flowers, and great burning thoughts voyaged through the sky of mind and time, and its airs crawled across the path, and souls emerged into mortality.
Yes. So he says, forget about all this universal struggle. Forget all this waste of energy that your spirit has been doing. It's fruitless. It doesn't have any result. Forget this weary circle of birth and death and birth and death over and over again. Forget everything that goes on in human life, the joy and the struggle and the pain. And forget this vague spiritual quest, this seeking which began at the time when the universe began, when the creation began. And these again are very, very beautiful lines, no, about the beginning of the universe, when worlds burst forth like fireworks, no, like clusters of fire flowers, and great burning thoughts voyaged across the sky of mind, of cosmic mind, and time, and those long cycles, those eons, those yugas, crawled across the vasts of cosmic space. It began when souls, individualized souls, emerged into mortality. That's when it all started. But you can forget all about that. You can go back into a state before the beginning, and find your soul cradled like a child, protected on eternal seas. Cradled and moored, he says.
Again, he says, birth and again birth and death, no? That means he's not asking us to go back to the earth.
No.
To somewhere.
He's saying that you should give up all your attachment to everything earthly. Then you will have the knowledge. Then you'll be free. And what Sri Aurobindo is actually hinting at here, pointing out here, is that this kind of spirituality, which wants to find liberation by leaving the earth, is a kind of death. In fact, it has been such a very appealing thing in the history of humanity's spiritual quest. But it's not Savitri's mission, and it's not Sri Aurobindo's yoga.
But he says the vague spiritual quest began before the worlds broke.
When the worlds broke, at the time. So it's been going on since the beginning of the universe.
But it is vague, he says.
Yes. So what does Savitri reply to him? Bom, would you read?
Savitri replied to the dark power, or dangerous music from those time, or death, making thy speech into harmonious play, and put alluring to higher hope. Thy falsehood lingers with the sad strange of truth.
Yes. Well, this is how she begins to reply. She's mocking him a little bit. She says, now you've found a dangerous music that's very attractive to tired hopes, to people who are tired of life, no? But what you are, and you are fluting, that is what Krishna does. He plays his flute and it attracts the soul. So now you are fluting alluringly, but you're only fluting alluringly to people who are tired, who are not ready to go on with the effort. And you melting your speech into harmonious pain. And what you are fluting is falsehoods. These are falsehoods that are mixed with sad strains of truth. So that makes them more attractive, both because they are truth and because they are sad. Sergei.
But I forbid thy words to slay my soul. My love is not a harder of the heart. My love is not a craving of the flesh. It came to me from God, to God it comes.
Thank you. So she says, I'm not going to allow you with your alluring hum music, no, dangerous music, to destroy my soul, no. And she says, I am very sure that my love, the love that I'm talking about and standing for, is not what you have said, a hunger of the heart, and it's not a craving of the flesh, it's not a physical longing. This love that I feel is a divine power. It has come to me from God, and it returns to God. It is my love for Shraddhavan, is love for God. Joel.
Even in all that life and men have marred, a whisper of divinity still is heard. A breath is felt from the eternal spheres.
You can read the next.
Loud by heaven and wonderful to men, a sweet fire rhythm of passion chants to love.
Yes. So the first lines are very interesting, no? And everything that life and man have marred, have spoiled, damaged, still within them a whisper of divinity is heard. There's something divine in them, in all these great ideals that have been spoiled in earth reality. And when these things come to us, no, they bring a breath from the eternal spheres, from something which is beyond the manifestation, which has not been marred and spoiled. And she gives the example of love, no? That heaven allows love, and it is something that is wonderful to humanity. a sweet fire rhythm. There's a rhythm, a beat that with great intensity in it. A fire rhythm of passion. Is singing. This rhythm is singing to love. Alicia.
There is a hope in its wild ancient life. It brings sweet callings from forgotten heights. And when it springs, a hush to highway souls. And there anchoring its burning breath survives beyond the rapturous core of suns that flame forever pure in skies unseen. The voice of the eternal ecstasy.
Yes. So she says that in that sweet fire rhythm of passion, there's a hope. It's a wild cry of longing even. It's ringing with the voice, this voice that's singing is ringing with callings. If somebody calls you, you tend to turn towards them, no? Or to respond to the call. So that through that passion, callings are coming to us from those forgotten heights where we used to dwell before we came into this manifestation. And when that sweet fire rhythm of passion is hushed, when its music is hushed to these souls who have gone very, very high into their empyrean, it means heaven. It means heaven in the sense of sky and in the sense of a paradise. There are souls, like he is saying, detach yourself from all this and then you will be in a blissful state. She says that even if those souls don't hear it anymore, its burning breath survives even higher, beyond their empyrean. It forms the core of suns that are flaming forever pure in unseen skies. Rapturous, the heart of those stars, those suns, is full of intense delight. So there beyond it is a voice of the eternal ecstasy, the eternal and infinite Ananda. So she's telling Death, don't devalue love or passion or intensity. It is something which belongs to the very highest level. And then she goes on to speak about earth. Tone.
One day I shall behold my great sweet world, put off the dire disguises of the gods, unveil from terror and disrobe from sin.
You can continue.
At peace we shall draw near our mother's face. We shall cast our candid souls upon her lap. Then shall we clasp the ecstasy we chase. Then shall we shudder with the long-sought God. Then shall we find heaven's unexpected strain.
Yes. Strain here means music, melody. So she's looking far into the future. She's quite sure that one day she will see this great, sweet world, not only Earth, the whole universe, taking off or putting off these terrible disguises that the gods have put on it. It will cast away these veils of terror and of sin. Sin is the sense that you have done something unforgivable that separates you forever from the divine. No, it's as unreal as terror, intense fear, but it causes a great deal of suffering. She says, then, when that time comes, we shall be able to go very close to our mother's face, our divine mother. And we shall cast our candid souls upon her lap. Candid, it means very pure and fresh and sweet and spontaneous, without any veils or robes. We shall cast our candid souls upon her lap. And then we shall actually be able to clasp, to embrace this ecstasy which we've been chasing always. We shall really experience the nearness of this God that we've been seeking for so long, and that will give us an intense thrill through the whole being. And then shall we find that unexpectedly beautiful music of heaven. And then she says something so wonderful. Would you read it, please, Bhavan?
Not only is there hope for Godhead's pure, the violent and darkened deities leap down from the one breast in rage to find what the white gods had missed. They too are saved. The mother's eyes are on them, and her arms stretched out in love desire, her rebel son.
Yes. We human beings, we can't help thinking that we can't help thinking in terms of rewards and punishments. And that if we try to be good, then we shall know the divine embrace. But here, Savitri says, it's not only for the pure beings, the pure divinities, that there's hope. These asuras and rakshasas, these violent and darkened deities, they have leaped down from heaven, from the one breast, from the breast of the one, in rage, in anger, to find what the white gods had missed. There's something that the pure deities have missed, some experience. Saprem pointed out this line to Mother and asked her, what have they missed? And she said, the joy of conversion. But they will perhaps not know that conversion. She said this also to Saprem at some other time. But there are these beings who will not convert until the final fulfillment. When this moment comes that Savitri says, one day I shall behold my great sweet world, put off the dire disguises of the gods. So there they are. They've leaped down in rage and they're tearing things apart. I remember some people I met in London. They were being so horrible to everybody and so negative and quarreling with everybody. They were doing it deliberately. And I wondered what it is that's making them like that. And then I realized they're looking for something which can't be destroyed. So it's something like that. But the mother's eyes are on them, and she's stretching out her loving arms, waiting for her rebel sons to come home. Andres.
One who can love and lover and beloved, eternal, built himself a wondrous field, and wove the measures of a marvelous dance. There in its circles and its magic turns, attracted he arrives, repelled
he flees, yes. So it's the one who has come into the world in the form of everything, no? And he came as love, as the lover and the beloved. And he's eternally those things. He has built himself this wondrous field of the universe. And he's woven the measures, the music and the rhythms of a marvelous dance, the universal dance of energies and beings. So there he is. He's in the middle of this dance. He is all the dancers, no? In the circles and the magic turns of this dance. Sometimes he's attracted. He comes, no? And sometimes he's repelled. He's pushed away. He flees. No? He has all these experiences. Patricia.
In the wild, devious fountains of his mind, he tastes the honey of tears and puts off joy, repenting, and has laughter and has wrath, and both are a broken music of the soul, which seeks out, reconciles its heavenly rhyme.
It's a kind of game or that he enjoys all these experiences. Devious means wandering here and there, not straight, not clear, crooked and twisting. He tastes the honey of tears. He enjoys that delight of being unhappy. And he postpones joy. He thinks, I will try something else. Sometimes he laughs, sometimes he's angry. And both the laughter and the anger are a music of the soul, but a broken music, which is looking for its heavenly rhyme, the rhyme that will complete it. It's looking for reconciliation. People who compose music, they sometimes do things like that. They have a theme, but they will break it and play with it in different ways and only at the end they'll bring back everything together, and then it's very delightful to hear it. Chandra.
Here he comes to us across the years, bearing a new sweet face that is the old.
This is so beautiful. That one who's the lover, who is love and lover and beloved, he's always coming to us through all these years and all these lives. And each time he comes, he wears a new face, a beautiful face that attracts us. But it's still the old face. It is still him, the one, the same. It means the Lord, the Supreme. He comes to us in this disguise. Bhavan.
His love to us, or its awesome spirit, like a far-heard, unseen, and-rising speech, from windless branches and throbbing woods, answering our endless search and passionate pain.
Read the next line. This disguised, yeah.
Disguised the lover seeks that draws our soul.
So this is how he's doing it. No? His bliss laughs to us. Or we long for something because he's calling us, he's hidden from us, we can't see him. So it's like Krishna's flute, the far-heard, unseen, entrancing flute. It's so attractive, it's irresistible. That flute from the moonlit branches and the throbbing woods. So we hear him, but we can't find him. So he's provoking us to this angry search, and we have all the passionate pain of missing him. So these are all different ways that the lover has for seeking our souls and attracting them. Dhanalakshmi.
He named himself for me, Guru Shraddhavan. For we were man and women from the first, the twin souls born from one undying fire.
So this is also so beautiful. So she says, that's what she means when she says, my love is returning to God. Who does she love in Satyavan? It's the one. So he's come to me in the form of Satyavan. He's given himself this name. No? And I know that we are the two in one. We were man and woman from the first. We are the twin souls born from one undying fire. So we are really meant to be together. So that's where we'll stop for today.
And thou go back alone to thy frail world. Chastise thy heart with knowledge, unhood to see thy nature raised into clear living heights, the heaven birds view from unimagined peaks. For when thou givest thy spirit to a dream, soon hard necessity will smite thee awake. Purest delight began, and it must end. thou too shalt know, thy heart no anchor swinging, thy cradled soul moored in eternal seas. Vain are the cycles of thy brilliant mind. Renounce, forgetting joy and hope and tears, thy passionate nature in the bosom profound of a happy nothingness and worldless calm, delivered into my mysterious rest. One with my fathomless nihil, all forget. Forget thy fruitless spirit's waste of force. Forget the weary circle of thy birth. Forget the joy and the struggle and the pain, the vague spiritual quest which first began when worlds broke forth like clusters of fire flowers, and great burning thoughts voyaged through the sky of mind, and time and its eons crawled across the vasts, and souls emerged into mortality. But Savitri replied to the dark power, "A dangerous music now thou find'st, O Death, melting thy speech into harmonious pain, and flutest alluringly to tired hopes thy falsehoods mingled with sad strains of truth. But I forbid thy voice to slay my soul. My love is not a hunger of the heart. My love is not a craving of the flesh. It came to me from God, to God returns. Even in all that life and man have marred, a whisper of divinity still is heard. A breath is felt from the eternal spheres, allowed by heaven and wonderful to man, a sweet fire rhythm of passion chants to love. There is a hope in its wild, infinite cry. It rings with callings from forgotten heights, and when its strains are hushed to high-winged souls in their empyrean, its burning breath survives beyond the rapturous core of suns that flame forever pure in skies unseen, a voice of the eternal ecstasy. One day I shall behold my great sweet world put off the dire disguises of the gods, unveil from terror and disrobe from sin. Appeased, we shall draw near our mother's face. We shall cast our candid souls upon her lap. Then shall we clasp the ecstasy we chase. Then shall we shudder with the long-sought God. Then shall we find heaven's unexpected strain. Not only is there hope for Godheads pure, the violent and darkened deities leaped down from the one breast in rage to find what the white gods had missed. They too are safe. A mother's eyes are on them, and her arms, stretched out in love, desire her rebel sons. One who came, love and lover and beloved, eternal, built himself a wondrous field, and wove the measures of a marvelous dance. There in its circles and its magic turns, attracted he arrives, repelled he flees. In the wild devious promptings of his mind, he tastes the honey of tears, and puts off joy, repenting, and has laughter, and has wrath, and both are a broken music of the soul, which seeks out, reconciled, its heavenly rhyme. Ever he comes to us across the years, bearing a new sweet face that is the old. His bliss laughs to us, or it calls concealed like a far-heard, unseen, entrancing flute from moonlit branches in the throbbing woods, tempting our angry search and passionate pain. Disguised, the lover seeks and draws our souls. He named himself for me, grew Shraddhavan. For we were man and woman from the first, the twin souls born from one undying fire.